All right, welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into something absolutely wild, a literal hero's journey for your mind. You know, it's crazy when you think about it. Our brains are basically hardwired to just keep us alive, right? Like literally burning through about 20% of our daily calories just for baseline survival. But at the same time, we have this massive, undeniable drive to ask the biggest questions imaginable. Who are we? Why are we here? And what exactly separates us from everything else on the planet? So we're going to look through a really structured philosophical framework that maps out that entire path, going straight from our basic survival instincts all the way up to ultimate spiritual liberation. Let's get right into it.
So the source material we're pulling from today is this foundational text, New Exploration of the Mind by Ryuho Okawa. And what's really fascinating about this book is how it acts as a comprehensive guide. Honestly, it's almost like a textbook for the soul. It systematically breaks down the incredibly complex workings of the human mind. So our goal today is to basically distill the core truths found in these pages, specifically zooming in on the various aspects of the mind, and give them to you in a clear, completely actionable way.
All right, here's our roadmap for the journey today. 1. Humans versus animals. 2. Defining human nature. 3. The 3 bondages holding us back. 4. Breaking self-preservation. And 5. Cultivating a good mind.
Okay, kicking things off with Section 1, Humans versus Animals. To really grasp what it means to be human, we've got to start with a basic question. What actually separates us from the rest of the animal kingdom? I mean, animals are driven pretty much entirely by adapting to their environment, right? A lion seeks out its prey for the day. A bear instinctively knows to hibernate. A mole just finds comfort underground. They exist in their environment without ever really questioning it. But humans, we look at that exact same environment and we go, why? We ask why the oceans exist, what the stars mean. While animals are totally content just to survive, the human mind is uniquely wired to explore its own secrets. We just have this built-in, profound sense of purpose.
Moving on to Section 2, Defining Human Nature.
So, if our whole purpose is to seek out meaning, how do we actually define the essence of this human condition? Well, throughout history, some of the greatest mentors have taken a swing at this. First up, we've got the 17th century philosopher Blaise Pascal, who famously said, "The human is a thinking reed." And really think about what that means. If you compare us to the massive, sweeping forces of nature, our physical bodies are pretty much as fragile as a tiny reed blowing in the wind. But, and here's the kicker, we aren't just a reed. We are a thinking reed. Pascal is basically arguing that our ability to ponder our own existence, that's our true essence. Our real strength isn't physical at all. It's entirely mental.
Now let's jump back to ancient Greece and see how this idea builds. Socrates defined humans as lovers of wisdom because he recognized something huge. No animal loves knowledge just for the sake of having knowledge, but humans, we actively chase it. And this is absolutely crucial. Loving knowledge is the foundational condition for all of culture and civilization. Without that love of wisdom, human life would literally be completely devoid of civilization. We'd be virtually indistinguishable from animals, just acting on instinct.
Finally, let's look at Shakyamuni Buddha, and his definition takes us even deeper, right into the spiritual realm. For Buddha, humans are beings seeking enlightenment. So the ultimate goal isn't just piling up intellectual facts, but actually achieving spiritual liberation, like discovering your true, unburdened self. Buddha taught that humans are inherently free and incredibly powerful spiritual beings, but, well, we've kind of forgotten this, and our whole journey is driven by the need to remember it.
Which brings us to Section 3, The 3 Bondages.
So you might be wondering, if we're meant to be these incredibly powerful, enlightened beings, why do we constantly feel so trapped and stressed out? Enter the villains of our story, the 3 bondages. Let's walk through these chains. Step 1 is the big foundational error, believing that your physical body is your true essence. When you think, "I am only my body," you immediately become a slave to physical desires. And that naturally bleeds into Step 2. Because you think this 3D physical world is all there is, you start desperately chasing worldly greatness, status, job titles, societal recognition. And finally, Step 3. All this worldly attachment breeds this selfish desire to constantly be praised and to take from others rather than to give. Before you know it, you are completely trapped in your own ego.
All right, Section 4, Breaking Self-Preservation.
Now, all 3 of these bondages actually share one common underlying root, and that is the overwhelming desire for self-preservation. I mean, let me ask you directly, how much of your daily energy is spent just trying to protect your ego, or maintain your physical comfort, or secure your social standing? It's a lot, right? So how do we actually break these chains of self-preservation to achieve true freedom? Because when we're constantly bound by the need to protect our physical and social selves, our minds get restricted and we completely lose touch with our original expansive nature.
The answer to breaking those chains is the concept of enlightenment. And in this context, enlightenment isn't just, sitting quietly in a room somewhere. It is the active shattering of the illusions of the material world. It's that exact moment you finally cut through the heavy anchor of self-preservation. When you stop obsessing over your physical survival and your societal ego, you suddenly discover your true self. You realize you're not just some fragile body, but a completely free, immensely powerful spiritual being, capable of boundless thought and creation.
Let's head into our final part, Section 5, Cultivating a Good Mind.
Understanding enlightenment conceptually is super liberating, but how do we actually apply this day to day? According to the source text, living as a truly awakened human means you have to actively engage with two fundamental pillars of the mind. First, there's the exploration of humanity. This is the inward journey to really understand your true spiritual self by stripping away all that ego. And second, the elucidation of the world. This is the outward journey to understand why the universe exists in the first place and exactly how you fit into its grand design. Your mind was literally given to you specifically to tackle these two massive, beautiful assignments. To navigate those two pillars, we can actually synthesize the wisdom of history's greatest mentors to cultivate what's called a good mind. From Socrates, we take the intense pursuit of wisdom. From Confucius, we borrow the dedication to building really high moral character. From Jesus Christ, we learn the ultimate power of loving our neighbors as ourselves. And from Buddha, we take boundless compassion. When you build a mind on these principles, it becomes incredibly constructive, rich, and deeply beneficial to the world. It is the complete opposite of that destructive, ego-driven mind we talked about earlier.
And when you start cultivating a mind like that, you acquire a correct worldview. You realize this profound truth. The universe we live in is absolutely not a random accident. The stars, the earth, humanity, none of it is a coincidence. There is a massive, divine intention behind the whole shebang. And that purpose really boils down to two main forces, progress and harmony. The universe basically demands that we continuously move forward, evolve, and grow. That's the progress part. But we have to do it in a way that unites us and brings peace, and that is harmony. Our individual minds are deeply, deeply connected to this larger cosmic purpose.
Which brings us to the ultimate takeaway from this explainer. I want you to take a hard look at your own life. Are you living like an animal, just reacting and adapting to your environment, surviving day to day, all tangled up in worldly status and the constant need to be praised? Or are you ready to finally break those three bondages of self-preservation? You literally have a profound, eternal universe sitting right there inside your own mind, just waiting to be explored. The choice of whether to stay tethered to the ground or to really soar toward progress and harmony, that's entirely up to you. Keep exploring, keep asking why, and we'll catch you in the next explainer.